Hello out there in YouTube land. This is the Lefty Lounge Lizard. Today's episode is slaving. I'm going to show you how to hook up 2 amps in a slaving configuration. Slaving is a miracle of modern science. I think everybody is familiar with the problem of having a tube amp at home. You want it to sound good, you got to turn it up. If you turn it up, it's too damn loud. So, enter slaving. I can crank this Marshall, well, almost crank it, I have it at 8, and run it into this Fender Deluxe and have it at a decent volume level without pissing off the neighbors. Now some people might be asking, well, I see a hot plate there, why not use the hot plate? Well, the hot plate's fine up to a certain point. When you start getting into the extreme attenuation levels, the tone really starts to suffer. Another thing people might be asking is, well, the hot plate has a line out on it in the back. Why not use that? Well, I have used that, and it just does not sound good. I think the signal is a little too hot. Not to mention the fact that your signal is still running through the hot plate. So instead, I'm using this line out box, which we'll touch base on later. The other benefit of slaving is FX loops. This amp does not have an FX loop. It's an old school plexi style Marshall. No FX loop. Well, I could run the delay and the reverb or whatever in front of the amp, but it wouldn't sound good. The delays would be distorted and the reverb would not sound good at all. So what do? Well, with slaving, I can have an FX loop between both amps, which you'll see later. So let's follow the signal chain for slaving. Here we have the guitar. Obviously you're going to start with the guitar. Then it goes, follow the green chord, over to the pedal board. And from the pedal board, we go back to the input of the first amp, the Marshall. As you can see, it's in the upper left input. I'm going to walk here. So we go into here. Now, in the back, there's 2 speaker jacks. One speaker jack is going into the hot plate. And the hot plate is set to load. That's to make the amp happy because it does not have a speaker attached to it. Very important. The second speaker jack comes out and goes into this line out box. This converts the speaker signal into a line level signal. There's also a volume on there. Now from here, we follow this black and white cord back over to here. And as you can see, I have a few pedals over here. I have a Mxr Smart Gate, which is this noise suppressor. Then it goes into a Strymon El Capistan delay, and then into Electro-Harmonix Cathedral stereo reverb. Then from the reverb, it goes out and back to the 67 Fender Deluxe in the normal channel. And I have the tone controls roughly midway. They're both at 6 and the volume's at 3. Now I can turn that up louder or I can turn it down lower. Either way, it's going to sound great. Now let's go back to the pedals. Here is your FX loop. Obviously I'm running a delay and a reverb in between both amps. Again, this gives you crystal clear delay repeats and a nice clean reverb. Very important. Now we're going to plug in and hear what it sounds like. As you saw previously, my signal's going through a number of items. However, every one of them is off except for the noise suppressor. So I'm basically going straight into the slaving amps. Here's what it sounds like. to talk while I'm playing to show you exactly how loud it is. It's kind of loud, but it's not that loud. Here's what that sounds like. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Now I'm just gonna play the guitar, wank, make noise. Here's what that sounds like. And by the way, I do have the Strymon Alcapistan delay, Electro-Harmonics Cathedral reverb, and for preamp I have the Badger 1011, which is the preamp for the Iowa 1011 reel-to-reel tape deck, which Richie Blackmore used extensively with his Rainbow and Deep Purple stints. So here it goes. So that's the end of episode 1, Slaving. And as I've shown, slaving is wonderful for keeping your volume at any level without sacrificing your tone. Not to mention the fact that you can have a nice FX loop in between amps. So that's all for today. See you next time. This is the Lefty Lounge Lizard.